Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to episode 12 of 100 Reasons to Become Muslim. Today we are discussing embryology in the Quran, which is a very clear miracle that a lot of people have tried to muddy up over the past 20-30 years. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the development of human beings in phases. The first phase that confuses a lot of people is the stage of turab, dust, dirt basically. This is not referring to a phase in the womb of a woman. This is referring to the creation of Adam. Specifically, Adam was made from dirt. The angels went, collected dirt from all portions of the earth. Allah made him the shape of a man, blew a soul into him. That the first man was made from dirt, everyone else was made from the second phase, which is called a nutfa. Nutfa is basically the sperm. This also, there's nothing truly miraculous about this. The human being has been observing this for their entire existence. What comes next, though, is truly quite precise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala then talks about the alaqa. Alaqa, its primary meaning is leech. Okay, the blood-sucking leech. Now, people accuse Muslims of fudging the translation of the Quran to fit scientifically and stuff like that, but we don't need translation. We have the original text. You could go to any professor of Arabic and you could get a translation, primary, secondary, tertiary meanings of every word from the original text, right? What we find within the English translation is the best guess of the one who was doing the translating. So we don't need to rely on that. We can go back to the words. Alaqa's primary meaning is leech. And the comparison side by side between an embryo at the early phases and the leech is truly remarkable. It is a stunning similarity. After this phase, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the phase of the mudgha. The mudgha is something chewed up. When you see the embryo, it starts to form these ridges on its back. And perhaps this is what's being referred to because it looks like bite marks. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about the bones and the flesh, that He created the bones and He clothed the bones with flesh. What we find in the human being is that a cartilage skeleton forms, and this kind of becomes the template for muscle and bone formation. And this is exactly described in the Quran. Then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talks about, then we changed them into a new creation. What's very interesting, and this is my favorite part of the passage, when you look at vertebrate species in the embryonic phase, compare different species at the early phases of development, they all look the same. It is only after a certain point that they start to distinguish themselves from one another. And Allah is like clearly referencing that here. Then finally Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, فَتَبَارَكَ اللَّهُ أَحْسَنُ الْخَالِقِينَ. Blessed is your Lord, the best of creators, and no doubt He is the best of creators.